for the better part of my stay in Hawaii, the biggest challenge, and if you can talk about the challenge of my being here, beside the cultural shock, the fact that I'm in a totally different place, with tall skyscrapers and um, huge freeways and so many cars, and people are always moving, and the hospital is like just huge. um, Beside all of that, I think the biggest problem that I was dealing with is just the fact that I was at the age where I'm more self-conscious about what I am, what I should look like, the impressionable age of being in the teenage years. And then you have this accident, and if even I guess if I had not been in the accident, I would still have those issues of you know growing up, and trying to relate with my friends, and trying to stay out of you know the trouble, or trying to stay out of attention, not draw attention to you, trying to be self-reserved. And it's kind of hard to do those things at the onset of a disability, when the focus is really on your body as this now injured um, entity, so to speak. That they're looking at the way, all of a sudden I'm conscious about the way my arms, flail, the way that my legs, tangle off I would do anything not to draw attention to me, because I was in a quote unquote less than desirable, less than perfect, or less than normal situation. So those were the things that were constantly, bombarding my psyche as a young man, and growing up, among, or actually in that hospital, among, people who are dealing with the same. You kind of watching that happen, with and we would go out and we see girls and boys our age. I don't know how to, I didn't want to deal with that. The idea that I need to be in the public. My friend John went back to school, and he came back and talked to us about school, and we were just kind of, you know, freaking out about the idea, of him going back to school. And but he said, my friends were really nice to me and everything, and but there's still that, so the disability just sort of like accentuates and highlights even further those anxieties that you have as a young person, as a teenager, at those impressionable age of, those impressionable age, but it in a very in very acute ways, I think. Yeah.
Well, how much do you think it helped you to be around other young people that had been injured?
It's it's a lot of you know self awareness, but also validation, in a sense that what I'm feeling is not entirely different. As we talk about our issues, we talk about the same issues, uh, you know so we know that, and I know that, we will all leave the hospital, and go our different directions, but uh, we will face those issues. So being around other people, especially the ones that came back, like my friend Alona, and Kanalu, and Jem, and the other guys, and that they're already facing the world out there, and they're already living it. That is not to say that there weren't any challenges, and of course they told us about all of the challenges would petrified us even further. But just to see those people, and so we knew we know in a sense that it's going to be hard, going out and living in the. Not that we were prepared for it. Nothing can ever mentally prepare you, to go out from the hospital and be in a community. Yeah, because the hospital is sort of a safe zone, so to speak. Everybody knows you at the hospital. Everybody deals with you. You don't have to. You don't. There's not none of that anxiety about. Sometimes we have group of people coming in, and you try your best to avoid them. Because you don't want them to see you. You don't want to. You don't want to have to. You don't have to, or you don't want to have to deal with them and interact with them.